Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Coach Pony podcast. I'm Christie, and I'm here with Bobbi Palmer. And we like to think of ourselves as your virtual business hug. And so we are here to answer your questions on all things coaching, and I can't wait to get into it. And today's theme is a little bit different, and it is about how to find clients in a new niche in 2026. So if you are wondering how to find clients, there's so many things you can do, but we'll tackle a couple of ideas for you today that hopefully will get you started. So Bobbi, are you ready to dive into our questions?
I am living this right now in real life. So yes, I'm ready.
So this is great because question one that we got was, I'm starting out in a new niche and I am afraid of marketing my business. What would you suggest? So I think the person is asking us maybe how to get past the fear of marketing, but also where to start marketing. So Bobbi, do you want to tackle this question?
I do. And again, this is my actual life right now. I've been doing Date Like a Grownup, datelikeagrownup.com. I've been doing dating coaching for a very long time, 15, 16 years. And I'm sort of winding that down a little bit. I've moved to Mexico 8 years ago, and I decided I wanted to start another business that had to do with living, in a different country and living in Mexico, which I love. And so I've started a new business just this year called Soft Landing San Miguel. So I live in San Miguel de Allende, which is in Guanajuato, Mexico, and I've lived here about 6 years. And there's so many single women who are thinking of moving here and wanting to move here, and it's really difficult if you're moving here alone. They're coming from all different parts of the world, mostly from US and Canada. So along with my past life of working with single women, I wanted to focus on that niche. So there's all kinds of other people that help people move here. But for me, it's something that I know that I love working with them. I know them. I'm living here as a single woman. So I am focused. My niche is single women who are thinking of or at the beginning stages of moving to San Miguel de Allende. And that's where softlandingsanmiguel.com started. Okay, so that's my setup, right, Christie?
I love it.
So I'm living it because it's brand new. I've literally just started posting on Facebook and doing some other things with it in the past month. So in answer to the question, how do you reach people in your niche when it's a brand new business? I'll tell you two ways that I've been doing it. One is I've been posting on Facebook, not ads. I'm not doing ads. I don't want to invest in ads quite yet. I've created a marketing kind of campaign. And I thought of a way that since I'm a new business, I wanted to first let people know I existed. So my new ad campaign, I have a big hot air balloon, which is big, in Mexico, we do that a lot. And I'm floating into my hot air balloon into all these different beautiful places in San Miguel. And I have Soft Landing San Miguel on the balloon. So I'm posting regularly on Facebook. I did research to find groups that contained my target audience.
And can I jump in here for a second?
Please.
I want to be clear that one of the reasons that Bobbi is on Facebook is because her target audience, because of their age, is also on Facebook. Because there's those of us in Gen X and Boomers. Yeah, it seems crazy to some of the young folks, but that's actually where they still all are. Mm-hmm. And so it's important to know a little bit about your niche so that you can meet them where they are. And Facebook groups, as any person thinks about joining a new community or moving abroad, there's a lot of Facebook groups that can help you with that. And so that's where they're going. And so that's where Bobbi's going. So sorry, Bobbi, to interrupt. Carry on.
Don't be sorry. That's really, really important. Yeah, there's so many Facebook groups. And again, my audience, I should say, is not just single women, but probably older. They're probably, 40, 50 and older. So groups like, there's a group called Moving to Mexico. There's Facebook groups that are local here where we, like almost every day, there's posts. I'm single, I'm a single woman, I'm thinking of moving there, and then asking specific questions. How do I do this? Where do I go for that? Is it safe? How much does it cost? So that's one way that I've started really reaching out and finding my niche. Now, I'm not just doing the posting. I'm also looking for those posts of women who are asking questions, and I'm direct messaging them. And I'm saying, hey, I saw your post on Facebook and you asked this question. I specialize in helping women like you. Here's an answer to your question if you want to know more. softlandingsanmiguel.com. Really in a really friendly, girlfriendy tone, because that's my brand.
Yeah.
So
and I want to point out
Go ahead.
What you did there too. So you went to the group where you know they already are. They're actually seeking information and you are helping them. And so that's really like marketing is really being of service and most of the time. And so she's helping answer their question and then saying, hey, and if you need more, here's where you get it. So it's really, really gentle that way. It doesn't feel salesy because she's not saying, oh, you asked this question, come talk to me. She's saying, oh, you asked a question, here's the answer. And also, if you want more, come talk to me. And also, by participating in these groups, she's raising her visibility amongst these people. So they'll see her answering questions and know that she's an expert in this area now. And so people will start to remember her in this way. Okay, sorry, I interrupted again. Carry on.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's really good information. I'm new, just like probably a lot of coaches that are listening right now. This is, again, a new business. So there's a lot. And, I'm kind of all over the place. So those are kind of two ways, right? I'm just gaining visibility by posting, and I'm going after people. And like you said, Christie, trying to help them and then telling them I could help them more. And one of my services is I do a 30-minute free discovery call, and then I do a 2-hour paid consultation. So I often use that link, one of those links, when I DM them. So that's one way. Another way that I've reached out to, not directly, this goes directly to my niche, but another way that I've reached out just looking for new clients is the same thing I did when I started Date Like a Grownup 100 years ago. And that is, I went to my personal email list. That includes my cousins, my dentists, my people I haven't seen in 25 years, my next door neighbor, everyone I've ever known. And I just sent them a really simple email. Said, hey, living in, San Miguel de Allende right now. I'm loving it. I hope you're, obviously I hope you're well. Just want to let you know, here's what I'm doing. It's a new thing. And hey, if you need me or you know anybody that does, I'd love the referral. And as a PS, by the way, I do give referral bonuses, which is important. So if somebody buys my $250 2-hour consultation, I give people who refer to me $50 of that. So that's a nice little PS. My second client I ever got in Date Like a Grownup, I said it was 15 years. It was more like 18 years. But anyway, my second client I ever got with Date Like a Grownup was a woman I hadn't talked to in many, many years, who got my email and went, oh my gosh, I need your help. And that was my second client. So you just never know where somebody who you can help is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really true. And the more clear you are about who you're helping, the easier it is for your friends and family to say, oh, I know someone like that. I'll pass along your information. Right. So you don't have to feel like you're selling to your friends and family, but if they're just aware of what you're doing and who you help, they're much more likely to spread the word. So, make it as easy on them as possible, the way Bobbi did. And that's, a good way to start. So the bigger lesson that I want people to take away from this part of the conversation is you really need to know your niche. And so then you can think about how you want to meet your niche. So you can meet them where they are. In Bobbi's case, it's on Facebook, primarily in these Facebook groups, because they're already going to these groups to get information, and they're on Facebook just because of their age. So it's a really great way for her to spend her time, and then she's being of service. For you, it might be a little bit different. But either way, she's owning her niche. She's letting people know, she's being visible, and she's meeting people where they are. And I think no matter what year you're in, that's important. But in 2026, it's really important to be clear about who you're serving, because people just don't want vague. They don't want vanilla. So please, if you're like, I'm a new coach, where do I start? Find your niche, people. Find your niche.
Have we mentioned that before? Like every single time?
I am just banging a drum on this.
I do have one more quick thing. I'm thinking that Instagram might be good for me as well because my audience is there. However, just like you teach in Barb, if you're going on social media and using social media, get really good at one place, Facebook, before you try to do multiple modalities before, right? Am I right? That's so I'm listening to Christie, which you all should do too, and starting in Facebook, and then maybe I'll move to doing some quick fun videos from San Miguel on Instagram at some point.
Yeah. And the reason she's starting from Facebook is because the clients are already there asking questions. So she already has an audience of people that someone else put together that is waiting for her. On Instagram, she'd have to build the audience, and that will take a lot more time and more effort. So she can go in right now and connect with people on these Facebook groups. So it's much quicker to cache, and it's easier for her to get started and get traction. So that's why she's not doing both. And that's also why she's not starting on Instagram, because again, this is what serves her niche best. So I'm glad that you said that, Bobbi. Thank you. Thank you for underscoring that these teachings work.
Softlandingsanmiguel.com.
Yeah, it's actually, again, guys, it's really cool to see what Bobbi was able to pull together using a lot of AI. So if you're interested in that in your business, it's a good example to check out. So definitely do that. Bobbi, I want to get to our next question because it's on marketing as well, but a different format. So I'm posting on LinkedIn 3 times a week and I'm not seeing clients. Should I keep going? I have an answer. Do you want me to dive in?
Go for it, please.
So this is such a great question. And I'm going to assume that you're posting on LinkedIn because you're helping people in their careers in some format, because LinkedIn, of course, is amazing at that. So you must be in career coaching of some kind. Bravo. And I would argue that if you've only been posting for a short period of time and you're posting 3 times a week and you're not really engaging on LinkedIn otherwise, then you haven't really used the platform in a meaningful way. So you're doing some things right, which is you know where your niche is and you're on that platform, but you need to be doing a lot more. So I really want you to think about a couple of things. LinkedIn is a different platform from Instagram and from Facebook, so using it is going to be a little bit different. But first of all, definitely post more than 3 times a week so that you show up more often in people's feeds. But before I even worry about that, what I would do is follow a bunch of people who cater to your niche, who are on LinkedIn and have audiences. So you can use AI to help you. You can use Google your own smarts and LinkedIn search and things like that to compile a list. But follow those people, look at what they're posting, and start to engage with their in the comments of their posts with their audience so that you build bigger brand visibility for yourself. Your headline and title should be very clear what you do, because that's going to show up every time you comment, so people will see who you are. But I want you to be not just posting, but I want you to be interacting and being of service to people. Because if you just post and ghost, people might see your post for a second or two, but it's really not going to resonate that much. But if they interact with you, if you answer a question they have on someone else's post or interact with them in some way, they're more likely to remember. And then you can move that into DMs and conversation. And of course, LinkedIn has a massive networking effect, because that's what the platform was all about back in the day. And so you should be using LinkedIn to connect and build relationships and not just post and hope people find you. So please use the whole tool, but engage for a while. Anytime you're on social media, I was talking about this with my Barb students today in our office hours call. Like, the time to clients is longer than you think, because they scroll past your content and the interactions are so light that it takes a while before you get on their register and like on their radar, I should say, not their register, before you get on their radar and they remember you, and even longer before they start to trust you. So it's going to take months probably before you really start to gain traction and see some good return on all the time you're putting in. But the benefit is, once you do put in that time and gain traction, you can really have a huge payoff. But you got to be ready to like knuckle down and try things and engage and participate and spend a lot of time being present and interacting on the platform and not just posting if you want to see results. So I would say stick with it, follow 10 to 20 people, engage with their audiences every day as you build your own audience, post 5 times a week at least, not 3 times, different types of posts, test them, note their engagement, and also spend some time every day networking, checking in with people, just showing up, being visible in their DMs and places where they're more likely to see you and not scroll past you. Anything you want to add on that one, Bobbi?
I do. Be respectful. So if you're going on into other people's communities, then you're not going to show them you're better than that person. Right? This was in the old days, and I mean like old days. That's what used to happen. Coaches would post on other coaches' threads and be with like their website address and, and images and, oh, I could help you too. Or a coach would post a question to their audience, and people would come in every day as the expert to answer the question, when it's the expert that's creating this community, right? So you're not there to compete, or you're not there to, what would the word be, Christie? Like, not steal their audience, but definitely
compete,
be respectful.
Collaborate.
Yeah, you're there to collab. That's a good point. Yeah. You're there to collaborate. You're there to help. You're there to say, yes, I totally agree with you, so-and-so, right? I mean, that's a great way to participate, is you are so right. And, thanks for that. And be, have some humility. Mm-hmm. Have some humility.
It's not just about their audience either. It's about that coach with an audience. You don't know. They might
relationships.
They might not offer private coaching, or they might have a full book and they can't help anymore. And you could become a referral partner for them, or someone that they might repost or just mention even as a resource down the road, which could be huge for your business now. So definitely be supportive. It should always be a win-win. But sometimes folks with big audiences can't get to all the comments or questions. And so there might be something that you're really suited to answer that can be helpful, but please be supportive of them. I'm glad you said that, Bobbi, because you're building relationships with that person as well as with their audience. And so you want to serve all of them and in a positive way. So yeah.
And there's enough business for all of us. It's something it took me a while. We both had to learn that at some point. Yeah. But like, for instance, my group that I used to have that was very active for dating. Every once in a while, a dating coach would jump in, and to be really honest, it was my group. I created it. It cost me a lot of money, a lot of time, and that just wasn't okay. So don't be that person. Use it very smartly and with humility, and it'll be. And I like what you said too. It's very much not just the audience. It's about developing a relationship with the other coach or whatever that person is.
Yeah, I've hired people who showed up in my community and been super helpful. I've actually been like, okay, I want to hire you to work with my people. So that you never know where it's going to lead if you're being of service first, which is definitely the theme. So amazing. With that, Bobbi, let's go ahead and wrap up this conversation with a business and life tip. So can you give me your life tip?
My life tip is to volunteer. No matter where you live, no matter what your life is like, the idea of volunteering is so rewarding, and especially these days where there's so much stress and there's a lot going on. The idea, again, we talk about serving, and it could be like 1 hour a week. It could be sitting on your couch and doing something for 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be a big commitment of time. But when you think about being in a place, I do some different volunteering, but what I do is I help disabled children work with horses. And I went there today, and I can't tell you the joy, and also the idea it gets you out of your head, and you're just looking at someone else that you're helping, you're serving, and it's just refreshing and rewarding, and I recommend it to everyone.
Yeah, that's so great. It's so great. Like, we could use more of us all helping each other for sure. And this is going to be a tonal segue, but for my business tip, the thing that I was thinking about, because I've been talking to a lot of my Barb students, and the theme that I'm seeing with them right now is just trying to over-engineer too much and overthinking things and adding friction and being like, well, it's such a big topic. How do I do this? And then they get stuck. And it's just like, it's okay, you guys, take a deep breath and don't just simplify. So you don't have to tackle the whole topic. You don't have to tackle the whole thing. You don't have to create 3 programs. You can just have one, So just simplify in your business and try to just do one thing at a time and do it really, really well. And I find when you simplify, you get so much more traction. And your life is also a lot easier to manage. And so just think about those things in your business. If you're trying to do all the things, or you're trying to build all the things, or you're trying to tackle something really big, just simplify, focus, do less, but do it better. And don't let all these things be an obstacle. And so I hope that was helpful, you guys. So Bobbi,
that's good advice.
How can people find you when they're not listening here or watching here?
Well, softlanding.com. If you or anyone you know is thinking about relocating to Mexico. And datelikeagrownup.com is where I've got over 150 posts and tips for you and all kinds of resources.
How many of your clients have you personally married, Bobbi? Or how many weddings have you attended? It's a lot.
I've attended probably a dozen, but I've only married, because I got my marriage certificate, only 3.
Okay.
Yeah. But what an honor. That's the word. What an honor.
That you had a client and you actually ended up being the person who married them.
But I do have several clients that I'm friendly with over the years. In fact, I'm going on a cruise with one of my old clients in a couple weeks. And they're living happier lives. It's what we do is really important.
Yeah, I love that.
Really important.
Okay, so Bobbi, you said how people can find you. My mind just broke there.
I did. How about you? How can they find you?
Yeah, thank you. The hamster just falls off the wheel. So come on over to coachpony.com. We have tons of free resources for you. If you're a new coach and you're feeling alone and isolated, oh my gosh, coachpony.com. Definitely check out coachpony.com/marketing. If you're looking for clients, we have detailed free training on how to find clients that will sort you out. So come on over. We'll see you over there. And with that, everyone, thanks so much for watching and listening. We'll see you on the next one.